If you're a buyer in the Connecticut real estate market, you know that it's brutal out there. If you know someone who's a buyer, you've heard the stories. The multiple offers, cash deals, way over asking, all sorts of craziness. What if I could tell you that there's a way that you could eliminate a lot of the competition and still get the house that you really want? What am I talking about? Well, you look for those houses that need a little bit of TLC, you buy them, do a renovation, and then you've got the house exactly the way you want it, customized to your need. If you're looking to move in right away, have an HGTV experience, this video is not for you. I recommend you check out my 4-part series on the home buyer's experience. It talks about the process of buying a house in Connecticut from start to finish. If you're willing to put a little extra time in, maybe save a little bit of money, maybe reduce a little bit of that stress, a few less ulcers, and then get the house that you really want, customized the way you want, then this is a video for you. Before we get into what a renovation loan is, how it all works, I want to talk a little bit about the market and why it really makes sense right now to go after this opportunity. So we're in a low inventory situation. We are in a seller's market. The real estate market, just like any other, is a supply and demand driven market. Supply is low right now. Demand is higher than supply, so prices are creeping up. That's what we've seen. Last year, prices went up 10.8%. I expect them to go up again this year. As we see mortgage rates come down, which is happening right now, we're seeing more demand come in. Unfortunately, dropping mortgage rates don't drive supply up. There's a lot of reasons why supply is down. Go check out my weekly real estate market updates if you want to see exactly what's going on in the market with that regard. So in the market in general, there's pretty homes and there's ugly homes. The pretty homes get all the attention. They sell quickly, they're priced the highest, and typically they see a lot of competition and bidding wars drive those prices up. It's a roller coaster of emotions as you're putting an offer in, hoping that it gets accepted, find out it's not, you've fallen in love with the place, but you don't get it, it breaks your heart. It's tough. Now, then there's the ugly houses. The ugly houses sit on the market a lot longer. They don't get as much attention. They're typically priced lower because of their condition, and there's fewer buyers looking at them. So at the end of the day, you have a better chance of success because there are fewer buyers looking. The important point in why this makes sense right now, about half of the houses on the market right now have been sitting on the market greater than 60 days. And that's about 4 times the average. Okay, so it's a long time on the market. Why are they sitting on the market? Well, some of them are just ridiculously overpriced. Nothing's going to happen until that seller realizes his house is overpriced. So those really don't count. Then there's the ones that are just, they need to either rip down or fully renovated and gutted. That's a big job. We're not talking about those either. What we're talking about is those ugly houses in the middle. You know, they're dated. They got the 70s shag carpet, the green Formica countertops. You know what I'm talking about. Those houses with a little bit of love and a little bit of money can be brought to a really nice standard. So those are the opportunities. How do we get from ugly to pretty? Well, I'm going to take you through the process. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the opportunities and the challenges because I want you to be able to make the best informed decision that you can for your own situation. Note, a renovation loan typically requires that the owner occupies the property after the renovation is completed. If you're planning on renovating a property and then just renting it out and never living in it, let us know because we need to put you into a different type of loan and we need to approach it differently. So the basic process. What is the basic process? So you're going to talk to your lender and you're going to talk to me as your agent. Okay, I want to buy a house that I need to renovate. Okay, we can find those houses. We'll go take a look at them. Once you have the pre-approval, we'll set up some showings, go look. Once you find the one that you like, that you can envision yourself in, maybe you're going to knock a wall down here, redo the kitchen, redo the bathroom, whatever. You get those thoughts in your head. We're going to go home. You're going to write down all the stuff that you want done for that house. I'm going to estimate the value of that house after repairs are done. We're going to go back and we're going to go back with a contractor. That contractor is going to take a look at the house and is going to tell you what has to be done and what the cost is going to be for that, and then what you want to get done and what the cost is for that. Once we have that estimate from the contractor, we're going to take that estimate and we're going to subtract that from what I think the overall value would be after repairs. Whatever that number is, that is the maximum amount that you can offer on the house. So we'll put together an offer. It doesn't have to be that maximum amount, might be less. If the seller accepts, then we go on to the next step in the process. The lender is going to send out an appraiser. That appraiser is going to go through the house and say, these are the things you need to get fixed. And then they're also going to look at things that you say you want to get fixed, and they're going to add that all up. They're going to put a price on it. They're also going to estimate the value of the house after the repairs. That's all going to go back to the lender along with the contractor's information. The lender is going to compare the contractor's repair list and the appraiser's repair list, look at those estimates for renovations and say, is there anything missing that needs to go from the appraiser list over onto the contractor list? Once that's done, they're going to say, your purchase price in the contract plus that renovation cost is a certain amount. If it's less than the value that the appraiser came up with, because they don't care about mine, they want the appraiser's, the appraiser's value, then you're good to go. If the purchase price plus the renovation cost is more than what the appraised value after the repairs is, then you got a problem. You're either going to have to reduce the renovation budget, come to closing with more cash, or walk away from the deal. So assuming you're able to work that out and actually get to the closing table, you're going to close. You're going to take possession of the property. The contractor's going to go in and they're going to start doing their work. There's going to be milestones that need to be completed. As the contractor completes those milestones, the lender is going to give the contractor draws, which is money, the amounts of money to pay for the repairs that they've done. Once all the repairs are done, everything's checked off, you're good to go. You move in, you got your house. It's really that simple. Now, I get like objections and challenges around this all the time. So let's talk about that for a minute. First one is renovation financing. It's so hard. It's so difficult. It's really not. If you've got a lender, a contractor, and an agent who know renovation loans and know renovation deals, they're gonna guide you through the process, and you're gonna have a lot of success. I've had situations where the client didn't listen to what everybody was saying, tried to do different things, and it caused problems. I've had where the client listened, and we had a lot of success. So that make sure you got a good team there. Contractors equal bad. I've been ripped off by contractors. It's happened. It's something that I'm not proud of, and it was kind of frustrating. I have contractors now that I work with and do stuff with all the time. I can recommend contractors. I've recommend them to other clients and have had great success. So we can work through that issue. The next one, material costs are so high. Yeah, some are high, some are low, some have come up, some have come down. It's all going to be built into the estimate. And a lot of it's going to be decided based on what you want to do. If you want to put the most expensive fixtures in, well, that's going to cost more. So there's balances that can be achieved there. And the other one is it's going to take too long. Where am I going to live while the renovation is happening? Well, this is one that it might mean that you can't do this. If you're in an apartment, stay in the apartment. Yeah, you're going to pay an extra month or two or whatever it is of rent, but it gives you a peace of mind of knowing you've got a place to live. The other thing, you could potentially stay with friends or family, or you could find a short-term rental. If none of those work for you, then this isn't a deal for you. So we just need to drop this as an option and move on to the next thing. The next one is the HGTV, found a problem and all the drama. Oh my God, I can't believe this happened. Yeah, that's not how it works. So what'll happen is the contractor will find an issue. They'll call you up. They'll tell you, hey, this is an issue, and here's the 2 or 3 things that we could do differently, and this is how much each option costs. Now, you're going to have a contingency in place, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But things do happen. Be ready for it because it's going to happen. There's going to be some kind of an issue. Last thing is over renovating. Guilty of this as well. One of the first houses I flipped, I was going to flip. I couldn't because I renovated it, put too much money into it. If we had sold the house, we would have made about $1,000, which would have been ridiculous. We ended up keeping it. Everything worked out fine, but I over renovated the place. My mistake. So there's some opportunities here now. The opportunities are, like I said, less competition. People are looking for convenience. They're looking for the move-in ready house. If they don't want to deal with that, sometimes they can't. Sometimes they have to sell their house and move right into the next one. They don't have any option of doing anything else. Those people, they're not your competition. It's just the people that are a little bit more flexible that are your competition. So you have fewer people going after those houses. Takes a little pain away. Because there's less competition and prices are a little bit lower, fewer ulcers. Yeah, you're going to have little bumps in the road during the renovation. It's going to happen, but it's not going to be as bad as going through 10 or 12 different offers up and down, constantly fighting through that while you're trying to buy a house. It's just a different experience. And then you're also going to build some equity. As you are doing that renovation, you're improving the value of the house. And the lender, if you're doing a renovation loan, they're not going to let you over improve to the point where you couldn't sell the house if you had to. And then, like I said, as you're improving the house, housing prices are going up anyway because demand is much higher than supply and prices are creeping up. So you're building equity there. It's a good thing for the overall. So some tips for success to finish this up. Hire professionals. Your lender, your agent, and your contractor, they need to know renovation loans and renovations in general. The more experienced they are, the more likely they are to help you to avoid problems. Your contractor also opening and closing permits is a big deal. Making sure everything's to code is a big deal. All of that helps. So hiring professionals, baseline, definitely something to do. Do your research and plan for success. Make sure you understand what the process is going to be. I just went through it with you. You can go through it again whenever you want. And so you understand what to expect and how you're going to be expected to react, what you're going to need. Make sure you lay out how you want that renovation to go, what materials you want. Do you want to change a wall? Things like that. The earlier you communicate it to the contractor, the easier and less expensive it's going to be. You're going to have a contingency. Any renovation loan, you're going to have a 20% contingency. That's usually what I've seen. And that's in case you find those problems like I was talking about, the HGTV problems, right? Then you work through it and you spend a little bit of that contingency. If you don't spend it, it doesn't go into your loan. It's no big deal. I have a renovation going right now where we had a budget. The house had an electrical fire, which caused a regular fire. And it also has been sitting idle or vacant for 2 years, and it wasn't winterized correctly. So we ended up finding more problems with the electrical than we thought. And we also found a bunch of plumbing problems because it wasn't winterized correctly. So we blew through our 20%. You're most likely not going to have those kinds of issues. I knew that going in, that those risks were there. If we get into a situation like that with you, then maybe we offer less or we don't do that deal. The last thing is have patience and flexibility. Stuff's going to happen. I've done well over 100 deals, and every single one of them, something happened. Sometimes it's really small, sometimes it's huge. The best thing you can do is have the patience and be flexible. When something happens, we're going to get together as a team, and we're going to have a discussion about it, and we're going to figure it out. And then you as the client are going to make the final decision and say, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to execute it. So it's no big deal. It may be a little bit stressful, but just remember, you're going to have a strong team of professionals around you who know how to handle these things, and will work through the issues. And that's why buying a house and doing a renovation is a great choice right now. There's a lot of houses that are on the market in Connecticut that need renovation, and there's not a lot of people looking at it. If this is something that grabs your attention, something piques your interest, give me a call right now. Let's have a discussion. I'll get you in contact with the lender who can help you out, a contractor who can help you out, and we'll go out there and start looking at some houses. Give me a call right now. I'm Dave with the Bolduc Realty Group. Have a great day.